was a ghost, I was alone. 두어진 길 속에. Given the throne, I didn't know how to believe I was the queen that I'm meant to be. I lived two lives, tried to play both sides, but I couldn't find my own place. Caught a pet child, cause I got too wild, but now that's how I'm getting paid. 끝없이 on stage, I'm done hiding, now I'm shining like I'm born to be. We dreaming hard, we came so far, now I believe. We're going up, it's our moment. You know together we're glowing, gonna be golden. Up with our voices, going to get you so on it. Gonna be golden. I'm done hiding, now I'm shining like I'm born to be. Our time, no fears, no lies, that's who we're born to be. Waited so long to break these walls down, to wake up and feel like me. Put these patterns all in the past now, and finally live like the girl they all see. No more hiding, I'll be shining like I'm born to be. Cause we are hunters, voices strong, and I know I believe. We're going up, it's our moment. You know together we're glowing, gonna be golden. Up with our voices, going to get you so on it. Gonna be
Good morning, everyone. Hi, I'm Kristen Tremarchi. I am part of the executive office team at the California Student Aid Commission. And if you are here for CSAC's webinar, you are in the right place. As part of the team who was behind the scenes with our recent California College Affordability Summit, I want to thank you all who were able to join and participate that day. And if you enjoyed the summit, and if you're looking forward and excited about next year, we invite you to use the reactions. Use a thumbs up, give us a heart, however you want to acknowledge that you joined us this year, and that you're looking forward to and excited about next year's summit as well. So invite you to please do that. In addition to our monthly updates, as you know, many of you who have been in part of the webinars are aware that we have implemented a monthly focus on particular student populations. And today we're going to be talking about and learning more about systems impacted youth and students. If we can go to the first slide, please. All right. Can we go back to the logistics, please? There we go. We are starting with everybody here ready to go, and we'll endeavor to have everyone on their way by 10 o'clock this morning. If you have questions, we ask that you please use the Zoom Q&A feature. We have staff standing by who will be prepared to respond to those questions. As many of you know, when you joined, we are recording, and these webinars are posted on our website as well as our YouTube channel. For anyone who may need it, please use the closed captioning feature. You can toggle those captions off and on. And finally, we invite you to join us on social media. Our handle is listed below at CA Student Aid. Next slide, please. So for anyone who may not be familiar with us, we at the California Student Aid Commission are the principal state agency responsible for administering financial aid programs for students attending public and private universities, colleges, and career technical education schools in California. Our mission is promoting educational equity by making post-secondary education affordable for all Californians. And again, on behalf of the Commission, we are grateful to have you all here with us this morning. So we can move to the agenda, please. Okay, opening and welcome remarks will be coming up shortly, and you will hear from our Executive Director, Dr. Daisy Gonzalez. We'll then be moving to Dr. Jessica Moldoff, our staff member, who will be talking about resources and tools, and then pivoting to another deputy director, Tay Kang, talking a little bit more about this month's student focus. And we also are featuring speakers Kai Jackson and Dr. Dina McCarty. And then we'll wrap up with our Chief Deputy Director, Dr. Catalina Missler. So with that, I'd like to hand it off to Dr. Gonzalez, and thank y'all for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Kristen. Good morning, everyone. We've made it to December. I was just sharing with our team last webinar of the year. And Kristen, I just have to give you a shout out. Number one, for getting us through the summit. I don't know if those of you who were not able to join, but for us here at CSAC, Kristen, who leads our webinars and always opens you up with a smile with details of our webinars, was also kind of like our traffic control. And so I want to ask all of you to share some love for Kristen, who did a lot of work. It was a huge team effort behind the scenes, but Kristen kept us going. It was several months of work, really incredible summit, and of course, incredible year with all of you in this virtual community. I also want to make sure this is not in our slides that we're celebrating our chief deputy who has a birthday this week. And so, Catalina, I'm going to ask you to come on screen. Good morning. I hope you're ready. It's Catalina's birthday, everyone. And I'm not a good singer, great at karaoke, but not a good singer. But happy birthday, Catalina.
Thank you,
You
Dr.
do a lot for
Gonzalez.
us.
Thank you.
You've kept this agency going for many, many years, and I know how hard you work every day because I get to see that side every day. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
She's finally 21, everyone.
Yes.
We decided it was 21. So, Catalina, I'll let you catch up on the chat. Happy birthday. I really won't sing. You don't want me to sing. I promise you. But happy birthday.
Thank you.
This morning, everyone, thank you for letting me do that. We were going to be joined by one of our commissioners. He's a champion for all of you statewide, but unfortunately, he got called into an emergency meeting. I want to still tell you about him because he represents you at the statewide level. He's the Associate Vice Chancellor for Government Relations, Strategic Communications, and Grants at San Bernardino Community College District. So he's at the heart of when you think about adult learners, that's him. That's Angel Rodriguez. When you think about the Inland Empire, that's him, Angel Rodriguez. He's also very engaged at the statewide level, thinking about things like Workforce Pell. How do you create on-ramps? I know he's also very passionate about our system impacted youth. He sees the connections from students who were formerly incarcerated or had a whole lifetime in juvie, were, raised in the foster care system and have disappeared from our institutions or from our data sets. And so I know if he was here, he would want you to know that the interconnections are real, but more real is the opportunity for every system impacted youth to succeed. He serves many of them in the community colleges because the majority of these students end up in community colleges, but he's also actively building on-ramps so that those students can earn certificates, degrees, credentials, and successfully transfer into a four-year institution. So please look him up, but I also want to encourage you to join and watch him during our commissioner meetings. And I want to say thank you to all of you for being here this morning. Next slide. Your main course today is, of course, two experts. So Kai Jackson, who will be speaking about RAPSA and all the incredible work that they've led nationally and here in the state. But you also have a second expert from Riverside County Office of Education. And so I want to thank Dr. McCarty, who lives and breathes the work, who sees the work in K through 12 and the possibility on the higher ed side. And so you're going to be in really great hands for the later half of this webinar. For now, I wanted to walk you through what we have been up to and give you really important updates in less than 4 minutes. One, a lot of work has happened from our outreach team to our training team. They have been on the ground up and down California, from working with the Mexican consulate, thank you, Israel, to the team behind the scenes who's visiting colleges. I see John and Leslie and Yvonne behind the scenes who are here answering any questions that you may have. That work will continue throughout the holidays. And as soon as January, 3rd, 4th, whenever that Monday is, we are restarting all over again because then we're up against a clock, a ticking clock of March 2nd. Next slide, please. Really important for us to note today in terms of the updates, really two tools that we have released. One is our Sears survey, which is the Student Expenses and Resources Survey. I think we've covered it here in past webinars. But if you're from a community college or you are that K through 12 advocate, I want to ask you for one favor. I want you to reach out to your community college and ask, have you updated your student expense, your cost of attendance? Most of these colleges within the education code have the ability to do that. They should be using that survey to update cost of attendance. For many of those students who maybe didn't qualify for that College Promise program, they will once they update their cost of attendance. New this year are regional differences for cost of living. That is going to be a game changer. And so I want to thank Dr. Fuller, Dr. Moldoff, and the team behind the scenes who worked on this survey report. It is a report you can download on our website. I also want to highlight the work of Nancy Jedidas. Many of you know her from her work at Immigrants Rising and our partners at Immigrants Rising, along with our attorney here at CSAC, Anna Manuel, have been leading courageous conversations. These are very small conversations, all in an effort to educate California's leaders, aka all of you, to know all of the information, state, federal, what does it mean to protect and serve our undocumented students? What are the laws? What happens? Let's practice it. And that's what they've been doing in these spaces. So I want to encourage you to, one, when we open it again next year, hopefully, that we are number one, registering. And two, if you want access to this Courageous Conversations toolkit, send us a note. Put it on the chat. We'd be happy to share the information. Our goal is that you're having these conversations locally, that you are ready and prepared, and that we are unified in our message for undocumented students and mixed status families. On this slide, you also see key information about where we are. I won't spend too much time on our FAFSA CADA, but I want you to know that we successfully opened. We are seeing some progress, but Dr. Moldoff will walk us through some of the opportunities as we look ahead. I also want to acknowledge our work on CalKids. In the first 30 days, 30,000 more Californians connected to their CalKids account. And then just yesterday, Dr. Moldoff updated us another 28,000, I believe. So thank you for your work. Thank you for connecting students to their CalKids accounts as a part of the scholarship, SIB, Scholarship Investment Board. Next slide, please. Yeah, I love it. America wants a toolkit, please. I also want to acknowledge the 78,000 set of communications that were sent and thank Tay King, our deputy director, who has been leading these efforts. It's been a while since we have been able to do this. So what you're seeing on this screen is a press release that went out this week. I want to thank Shelveen and Jessica Deichman for helping us get this out, and our colleagues at UC and CSU. Thank you, Yvette. Thank you, Dr. Perez. The work that we're doing here to notify high school students early on that they have, and that not only do they have it, but it's an entitlement. They have access to a Cal Grant. The work that we're doing to inform them early is really important. So students are receiving that information. If you're from a K through 12 district, I want to ask you for a favor because I'm in a favor asking mood. When that communication goes out, we are notifying your high school students that based on their tax information or the information that we have, they have a Cal Grant waiting for them. That email typically goes to your campus, your school site email, because that's what the student has given us. A lot of our emails are getting blocked. So if there's anything or any ideas that you all have that could be helpful so that those students can get that email, please send a note on the chat to Tay so that we can figure that out together. But what you're seeing on here are the words of Dr. Perez, Yvette from UC about the importance of communicating early to students. And we wanted to say thank you to the two systems, but of course, the two phenomenal women leading in these efforts in those systems. Next slide. I think the last number I heard from Tay was 78,000 notices were sent to high school students and to inform them that they have a Cal Grant waiting for them and that here in California, we want them to succeed. The last thing I wanted to do is I will be seeing many of you at CASFA, hopefully, and that will be on Sunday. But we are launching a really big effort as we head into next year because we're seeing our numbers drop. And so we need to successfully reach our CADA applicants. This poster will be featured at the CASFA conference. Thank you, Nancy, for putting this together. We will be seeing you very soon at that conference. But together, we want to affirm just one thing. Undocumented students can go to college here in California and they can get financial aid. And so we want to ask for your support and your efforts as we head into next year. We also know many of you have already supported SB 323, but if you want to submit a support letter, there is still time and there is a process. I will ask the team to put the link. The bill is already in its second house, and we are hoping to bring that back next year. Next slide. I think this is my last slide, I'm hoping. Because when I ask you to do research or to send a support letter, I also want to be very clear and very honest about what the bill does. The bill is very clear. It seeks to provide a pathway for Californians to access the aid that they are entitled to. And so, yes, it does offer up the California Dream Act application for them to do that. It is a 2-year bill, which is why it's in its second house and why we're asking for your support. So if your organization has not supported the California Dream Act application as a tool for Californians to get access to their aid, please spend some time researching it. Many more than 50 different organizations have submitted their letters, and so we want to say thank you to them. Many school districts have already sent letters as well. And next slide, that should be Dr. Moldash. Thank you, Dr. Moldash, for putting these slides together and for leading our last update on data as we head into 2026. Hand it over to you. Thank you, everyone, and happy holidays.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. All right. I am Dr. Jessica Moldoff. I'm the Deputy Director of Research Analysis and Program Innovation here at CSAC. And today we're doing an update on where we are with the numbers for applications. Next slide, please. So many of you know our Race to Submit dashboard. We're looking pretty good for 26, 27. I think as I mentioned in our prior meeting, we are benchmarking against 23, 24. As you all know, 24, 25, even 25, 26 were a little bit of a sluggish years, and we know we're going to speed past them. So instead, we're benchmarking against the first year of the universal FAFSA. So 23, 24 are high marks. So that's what you see here is a comparison of this week on December 7, 2025 to 3 years ago. It's been 3 years since we've had a normal FAFSA cycle. And we're doing great. We're already at 28% completed versus 25% completed. So really looking forward to us continuing to hit those high marks, and hopefully we'll see even higher numbers at the end of the cycle compared to our previous high point. Next slide, please. Want to remind you all that we have some maps for both counties and school districts to really showcase which regions probably are need some additional help, as well as the regions that are killing it. Shout out to the Central Valley, lots of nice green regions there. We're still seeing a little bit of sluggishness in the coastal area, but we know that we'll catch up. I know right now, I didn't include in here, but we do now have the NCAN's FAFSA tracker is online. They have now data from the federal government. Now that the government's no longer shut down, the feds are releasing data that NCAN uses for their national dashboard. I gotta say, California is not doing so hot on there yet. I think we're in the 20s, but I will say that it's just we will get there. Usually once we get closer to the March 2nd deadline, that's when we see a big spike, and that's usually when we jump from like the 20th to like the 5th, like we did last year. So we're still keeping an eye on the NCAN dashboard, but right now we're focusing on how we can get more students to apply sooner than waiting until the deadline. So again, we have the counties here, and then for individual counties, if you want to see where in your county needs additional help, I would definitely advise the the school district dashboard. You can filter it by county to really isolate which particular districts in your county may need additional outreach in order to get them closer to where they need to be to see those high numbers for 26, 27. Next slide, please. So that's all kind of things that are happening now, but I wanted to touch base on where we're at compared to not just 23, 24, but also the prior 2 years. Here's our line graph, which has a great longitudinal look. Again, you can see where clearly where those priority deadlines are. That's where we get that big spike. Again, this is the spike that makes us go from 20th nationally to 5th or even higher nationally is right there at the deadline. But already we're trending really well. You can't really even see the line for 26, 27 because it's so close to 23, 24. 23, 24 is that gray line on the top. You can see 26, 27 hugging it really tightly. So I think we're in a really good position to at least meet that line. And I mean, the more that we can do now, the better we can be to actually go above and beyond our high point by the end of this year. So definitely looking forward to continuing to track our applications by our recent high school students, are the ones that are going to be entering college next year. If you actually go into our website and look at this dashboard for all students, we're already above 23, 24 for all students. So this is really just us tracking the high school students to make sure that they're also seeing positive growth for 26, 27. And with that, I will pass it off to Tay to talk about more of what's happening.
Thank you, Dr. Moldoff. Yeah, so we are here in December already, and uh, almost 2 months in, or a little bit past 2 months into our application opening. So we are really excited for the progress we've made, and as we're headed into our holidays, and for many of us for our vacations, we're looking, forward to the time to spend with during the holidays with our loved ones. But we also wanted to take this moment to just acknowledge all of you, our high school counselors, our administrators, outreach partners, and higher education student support services staff. Your commitment is the reason why our FAFSA and CADA numbers have made such a strong progress this year. So we just saw the numbers. So we wanted to just acknowledge you and appreciate you. Thank you for every single workshop that you've been part of, every weekend and every evening that you've been dedicating to help students, every one-on-one appointment that you've had with students, and every single question that has come your way in terms of FAFSA and financial aid and KEDA for all the students that you've helped and all the families that you've helped to navigate this maze of financial aid. So definitely wanted to appreciate and acknowledge you as we wind down this calendar year, but we know that the work is still ahead of us as we look for march towards the party deadline of March 2nd. So as we transition and move into the next part of today's webinar, we want to also recognize students that continue to face steep challenges. So next slide. This month, we're turning our focus into the students that are systems impacted youth, students affected by the justice system or the incarceration of a family member. And as you can see here from this slide, we have some interesting data points. I think one that we have never really shared before. And so we see that from the 24-25 FAFSA year, we have 489 students who were part of the systems impacted youth that completed the FAFSA application, but based on the numbers that we are receiving from the corrections department, and rehabilitation department, we see that there's still 10,652 students in the overall population. So, which means that there's 95% of students in the systems impacted youth who are not accessing the FAFSA application. So, a lot more work to be done. Out of these students often overlap, as Dr. Gonzalez had mentioned, with other underserved groups, foster youth, juvenile justice involve youth, students with dependents, adult learners, and those in alternative education. So supporting them requires understanding the complexities of all their experiences. So you can see clearly that there's still a lot of more work to do, and we're excited to hear from our panelists. Next slide. So our call to action is clear. We want to reach the 95% who remain disconnected from these financial aid opportunities. And here we have some resources. Of course, this is not an exhaustive list, but there are some of the resources that are available to these students who can access financial aid, and just as they continue down their educational pathway, these are some of the resources available to them. Okay, and of course, this is not an exhaustive list. Next slide. And here are some common FAQs for our system impacted youth. These are just some of the FAQs, not all of them. If you actually go to, if you see the URL csac.ca.gov student focus, we actually have 2 documents that we recently just posted to this website. As we continue to have our student monthly focus, we will add resources to that website, and we just posted one that has more of that comprehensive list of resources, and then more of that comprehensive list of FAQs. But here are some FAQs for our system impacted youth. Can I get financial aid for college even if I have been involved in the juvenile justice system? Yes, in California, being involved in the juvenile justice system does not stop you from receiving financial aid. You can still qualify for federal, state, and institutional aid. So just making sure that you meet all the other types of financial aid requirements. What if I don't have a high school diploma yet? Yes, you can still apply for financial aid. You can still seek your high school diploma, get a GED or an equivalent by the time you start college. And there may be some exemptions or exceptions to this particular requirement, depending on what type of financial aid you're seeking or what type of program you may be pursuing. And one question that we often get is, can a student receive a Cal Grant while incarcerated? So a student is unable to receive a Cal Grant while incarcerated. So, but upon release, they may be eligible to receive it as long as they meet other Cal Grant eligibility requirements. So, I encourage all of you to go to this URL, and this is where we will be posting our student focus resources. We have posted last month as well, and then also this month. So we do have those resource documents that has more of that comprehensive and exhaustive list of FAQs and resources. So with that, I will pass it off to our Chief Deputy Director, who will be leading us in our panel discussion.
Thank you, Tay. Thank you. And this is just, it's, as Dr. Gonzalez mentioned earlier, just the opportunity to highlight these students and uplift them, as well as our new partnerships. And we're learning a lot about what's available for them and what resources they share with these students and these student populations. So we're excited about this new partnership. And I think that system impacted youth and students is a population of students that we haven't really learned much about. We provide resources to all of our partners with our segment representatives, and we share a lot of information, especially reaching out to students and all of the students who are enrolling and planning to attend a 4-year institution or a community college. But these population of students need more support. And I think as we establish new partners and the communities that support these students and their families, we can cater and centralize resources and develop toolkits for them and expand our reach so that they're aware of the financial aid resources available for them. Our mission here at CSAC is to promote educational equity by making post-secondary education affordable for all Californians. And our partnerships, they're a key component of our implementation framework, because this work needs all of you here. All of you that spend your hour this morning with us know the importance of the work that needs to be done and the support that you need to provide for these students and families. So we learned so much from you and our new partners and all of you that are on the ground serving at-promise students, juvenile justice youth, and students, to give them the support they need, even due to an incarcerated parent. So many times it's that hand and that heart reaching out to the students who have no hope of ever going to college. So I'm happy to introduce our new partners serving system impacted youth and students today to share their work with this population of students. Today, we have Kai Jackson, the managing director at Reaching at Promise Students Association, RAPSA, and Dr. Deanna McCarty, the executive director of alternative education at Riverside County Office of Education. Just the time that we've spent recently learning about the work that they do, they're amazing. They're amazing, and you can tell their hearts are in the work that they do, and that's what drives them to serve these students. So, with that, I'd like to introduce Kai Jackson. And Kai, if you'd give an introduction, and then as well followed by Dr. Deanna McCarty.
Absolutely. Thank you, Catalina, and I appreciate being here. My name is Kai Jackson with the Reaching at Promise Students Association. Do you want me to continue or just my very basic introduction?
No, you can continue.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you. So yeah, I'm happy to be here with you and with everyone this morning. And I was going to just jump in on the prompt that you provided, which is what brings us to this work. But given the conversation we had before we started, I really want to start with first things first and talk about the students and the young adults that we serve. And so if I can, and I'll be expeditious. First is, we don't use at risk. We use at promise because we use asset-based language. And speaking of these young individuals, they are problem solvers. They are ambitious. Many have independently navigated complex life challenges, developing resilience, adaptability, flexibility, and grit. They are self-motivated despite setbacks. They actively seek education and job opportunities that have helped them gain stability. Given a chance, they want careers, not just jobs, and they are willing to put in the work to get there. They are opportunity youth ready to contribute, but are too often met with closed doors instead of pathways forward. These young individuals are remarkable. Many have faced unstable housing, foster care, involvement in the justice system, and financial hardships. Some have been pushed out of traditional education, not because of lack of ability, but because the system wasn't designed to meet them where they are. I promise students and opportunity youth students are resilient, determined, and ambitious, ready to build their futures. But too often they're held back by outdated policies, disconnected systems, unnecessary barriers that prevent them from fully entering the workforce or contributing to the economy. So I just wanted to, I didn't plan to start there, but given what we talked about before we jumped on, I couldn't resist myself from doing that. So I just wanted to be intentional and name the genius within these students that we all collectively serve. And so now I'll address the prompt, and so I'll be expeditious. And so let me apologize in advance for my tempo. So RAPSA, which stands for the Reaching at Promise Students Association, we like to recognize that every young person carries promise, immense promise within them. And that is our job to create the conditions that allows that promise to flourish. And for us, it's not just about labels, changing labels from at risk to at promise or opportunity youth, disconnected youth. It's about changing lives, actual lives, helping these young folks and the educators that serve them to lead remarkably better lives. RAPSA, we believe we are a community of builders and architects in service to students. And we are the builders who tear down barriers and break down silos. And we collectively with you, and you are the architects that design the systems that should replace them. RAPSA was actually founded in San Diego as part of the School for Integrated Academics and Technologies. It's called SciTech, a public charter school that was dedicated to educating opportunity youth, students, and disconnected youth by ensuring they gain high school diploma and workforce skills through their workforce partner, WIOA partner, the U.S. Job Corps. SciTech and their teachers, they recognized something, though, that the system too often put up barriers and they didn't allow them to do their job. So they were tired of fighting the system and they believed they could do something different and wanted to do something about it. So that's how RAPSA came together to address and lead the way in alternative accountability in K-12, to address those things such as the one-year graduation rate, positive transition rate, and alternative accountability metrics. That work in K-12 alternative accountability has been and continues to be a part of the core work of RAPSA. And we're building on that and growing that foundation that has been laid. Today, RAPSA continues to create a space for at promise and opportunity youth and disconnected youth that whereas they can actively participate in their future with a very high probability of success. So when I was thinking about what I was going to say, I had a whole bunch of data and I was talking to a colleague and he said, hey, you're probably preaching to the choir. And I think they're right. I had a whole bunch of data, but the truth is you probably know the data much better than me because you're the experts. But there are a couple pieces that I would like to point out, given what was already mentioned. Across America, more than 4.3 million young people ages 16 to 24 are disconnected, not in school, meaning at this moment, not in school and not working. That's about 1 in 9 youth. And the 4-year grad rate nationally is at an all-time high of about 87%. But that leaves over 1 million students who need more time and support. And someone mentions justice impacted. In state prisons, many enter without a high school diploma, and we know that not every person entering justice systems will access educational and programming while incarcerated, missing a proven path to lower recidivism and higher earnings. And I was just thinking about some of our friends at Yolo County, not far from Sacramento, and the work that they're doing in their community around Prop 47 funds to help make healthier communities, safer schools, and reduce recidivism. For justice impacted, we know that the preschool to prison pipeline is real. And related to that, we know that Black and brown males bear the brunt of system inequities with disproportionate impacts on them, their health and their life outcomes and their social determinants of health, like poverty. So those statistics are real, the barriers are real and personal. Education gaps compound the challenges and impacts on the transition for these young folks into post-secondary. And coming to the prompt, that reminds me of why I am doing this work with RAPSA, why I'm invested in this work in my second life, my second career. My first career was as a U.S. Marine officer, an attack helicopter pilot, and Marine fixed wing pilot. And as a former homeless youth in South Central Los Angeles in the 70s and 80s, I'm in this work because a lot of people didn't believe in me. But I believe in these young people, and I'm in this work because I'm not comfortable. When did it become acceptable to be comfortable with young people not attaining a high school diploma? When did it become okay with young people being disconnected and not in school and work at this time? Not matriculating to or desiring lifelong learning. Is that okay? That's not okay. I think we all believe that these 5 million young people have potential. Some may need a little bit more time, but they'll get there. They'll get to where they want to be. So that's what brings me to this work. I know it took a little bit more time than my 3 to 5 minutes, but that's what brings me to this work with RAPSA, and that's a little bit of context around the work that RAPSA does and the students we serve.
Thank you, Kai. Thank you for sharing that. It was really important. And I know that everyone's hearts, you saw the hearts and the love that was given for that. So thank you for the work that you're doing and how you're serving these students and communities. Dr. McCarty.
Well, thank you. I wanted to start by saying thank you. The fact that you've actually made space to hear directly from people who work with these students every day says a lot about the commitment of this organization, this program, and even those in this webinar. Our young people deserve a system where they're shaped with them in mind. And the conversations like these are showing that that's actually the trajectory and the space you're pushing for. You're not just checking that box. That's that intentionality, and it really matters. So again, thank you. As mentioned, my name is Deanna McCarty. I'm the Executive Director over Alternative Education for the Riverside County Office of Education. And what that means is I have the opportunity to oversee our programs that work with our students who are system impacted. A few slides back, they showed that yellow box of the students that we're talking about. Those are all of my students. I have our programs that oversee our community schools. So these are students who are expelled or probation referred who come to us kind of that last chance. We have students that are adjudicated in our juvenile halls. They live there, they go to school. That is their second home. For some, it's short term, and some it's much longer. I work with those in a charter school that it's a dropout prevention charter. They've come there because the traditional system hasn't worked for them. Many of them are foster, some are unhoused. Then I also work with our jails, our day reporting centers. So those are our adults who have been incarcerated, who are now facing the sometimes a path that's led them to based on lack of resources provided to school. And foster youth is a priority in one of the areas I have to focus on as part of my job. State requires it, but if my heart leads it as well. So within that, we have the opportunity to serve many students. Riverside County is about the size of New Jersey. I think we serve close to 480,000 students. And in there, the population that we're talking about isn't huge. I'm not going to say it is, so it could be easily overlooked. But when we're working with this population, we have an increased need. And also, I think we have to look at that we have a responsibility to serve these students, because for so many, the system has forgotten them. And the typical comprehensive schools aren't meeting their needs. And the work that we do really does matter. Our students carry adult level responsibilities. And I think that's often something people don't understand. They have the housing instability, the legal involvement, caretaking. They have faced more life choices, situations that many of those, I think there's 476 in this panel today, have ever seen in their lifetime or will see. The stories we hear are heartbreaking, but at the same time, inspirational. And I say that because our students are still showing up. I had an individual once share with me who had gone through being unhoused, the judicial system, and all those components. And I said, how can we stop? What can we do to make it so our students don't give up? And she said, as long as they show up and walk through that door, they haven't given up. So don't give up on them. And that really stood with me for, it's been a few years since I've heard that, because sometimes we're like, oh, we can't do anything. They don't care. No, as long as you step through the door, there's still a heart. There's an opportunity. And I think that's the thing we have to look at. Our students, they have the potential. I know Kai mentioned this. Our students are brilliant. And I'm going to say brilliant. I think we gave the ASVAB a few weeks ago. We had students scoring 700 plus, 70th percentile. We have students who are overcoming so many items that they really are inspirational. They are strategic, they are resilient, they are adaptive. That adaptive skill is something you can't teach. And in college and in life, you have to adapt to changes. We see that every day. And to be able to do that to survive tells you they have the base skills. What they don't have is the terminology. They don't have the access. They don't have the trust in a system that has failed them so many times. And I don't blame them. So it's our job to make sure that this is a space where our students can have choice, trust, hope, instead of consequences. And so when I think about why we're here and what we're doing, I really push that we have the opportunity to truly impact our children's lives, the students that we work with. Their future depends on the adults in the room, and the adults are not usually their caretakers. Their adults are not always their families. We are those adults, and it is our responsibility because we can bridge that gap. I know we're going to talk about that a little bit further, so I won't get into that, but it's our job to meet the students not at the finish line, but we're along the way. Think about it as a marathon. We're passing out the water. We're cheering them on. We're at mile 12. We're at mile 13. We're at each of those miles because they've made it part of the way, but not the whole way. And their systems, their tanks are empty, and we have to keep pushing them. So I'm here, and my passion is here to make sure that to shine light on those barriers that we don't always see, and also the opportunities that you can create. Because when the right supports are in place for our students, when the processes are simplified, when the trust is built, when someone shows up and says, I see you, our students don't just access college or training programs, they flourish. And I'm going to tell you, one of the small steps that we do within our program is when students come into our juvenile hall, when we're reviewing their courses, we simply start by saying, which college course are you taking? We don't tell them it's a choice. We do that intentionally, because when we do that, our students start off, we have multiple choices, and they can start off in a class. And what happens is they can choose to not finish that class. But what they will be able to say is, I am a college student. I went to college because they enrolled in that college class. And that by itself is empowering because now they can be maybe the first student who's ever gone to college in their family just by enrolling in a class. And we provide that access. How did we do it? We just enrolled them. We didn't have them fill out any additional forms. We completed that for them. We took away that simplest of barriers. And we can do that in our school students, in our K-12 systems especially. So I think the best part is as we work through this and we work in these systems, it doesn't require magic. It's just intentionality. As long as we work on that relational support and maybe willingness to translate the fast from the processes into common everyday English, we could have some of that success. So I'm excited about today. I'm excited about the conversation we're going to have. And the truth is, it's not our students who need to change, it's the systems. So I think we're in the right place to get that going.
Thank you, Dr. McCarty. Just amazing just to hear the work that you're doing. And again, the heart that you have. And you're right, it's not us, it's the systems that need to change. And that's what we're here for today. So just to manage some of the time too, I know we had 2 questions for you, but I want to ask first is, when you're here and what CSAC as a state government organization and a partner is like, what is one piece of advice or action that we can do to support your work in serving at-promised youth and systems impacted students feel encouraged and supported when applying for financial aid and pursue their training or career aspirations? So what can we do to help support the work that you do? We'll start with Kai.
Great, thank you. No, I appreciate it. So let me just start. And Executive Director Gonzalez recognized this a long time ago in her work with RAPSA. You know, education is an engine for social mobility. You know, RAPSA exists only because at promise and opportunity youth deserve better than disconnected programs and temporary fixes, right? They deserve a system that works with them and not against them. So I think one piece of advice is hold tight to the problem and not solutions. You know, so be flexible, be adaptable, right? And meet the students where they are and their challenges. And so one challenge I would also say for some of the professionals that might be on this webinar is that the students that we are working with often have a profound sense of mistrust or lack of meaningful relationships sometimes with the educators, which can significantly impact their college access or sometimes college success. These students and young people often feel a disconnect between their home and school environments, leading to sometimes a lack of trust for educators. So it's going to require, as Deanna said, it's going to require us in service to them to lean in, meet them where they are, and for us to be willing to change, right? And that's where we have to recognize their journey, their challenges, and also their potential and brilliance, just as Deanna said. So once again, it's time for us to lean into system change and meet them, and that's one piece of advice that I would offer.
Thank you. Thank you, Kai. Dr. McCarty?
I'm going to piggyback on that advice a little bit more specifically, because that is absolutely what is needed. When we're working with students, we want to be sure that we have those warm handoffs that support the student. And what I mean by that is actually giving a name, not a phone number, not an email, not a website. Our students require the support to actually walk them through the process. By walking them through, that means having someone go to them, which takes an additional step, which is not just your college night or come visit our campus. It's taking the program to them. It's taking these moments, these days, the events to their site and where they are. Find those common spaces. It doesn't have to be a school. It could be a community center. It could be a church. It could be different forms. It could be the juvenile hall, but taking it to where they feel trust, where they feel safe, taking to where they can have some success and the support. But I think the other part of that is not only giving them the name and having a constant person, that person has to be able to continue to connect with them. So one of the things that you want to do is also walk them through. If they're applying for FAFSA, it isn't give them the cheat sheet ahead of time to fill in the key pieces. Where do I find that information though? What do I do when I don't have these records? We have to walk them through because our students aren't all going to have a social security card. Well, who has it? Well, you've been moved from home to home. You've been transient. You don't have this. What can you do instead? And having those answers versus saying, go try it, have frustration, and then they quit. Because as soon as there's frustration, their resources aren't there, they don't have what they need, that's when fight or flight comes in. And so they're going to walk away. And these systems are foreign to them, sorry. And I think about even in the world of special ed, my background has a lot of special ed, the acronyms we use, if you were to say simply to students, instead of saying we're going to fill out the FAFSA, we're going to get you free money. Let's get you some money today. When I take the time to fill out the CalKids account, we talk about CalKids, that means nothing to our students. I say, guess what? There's probably $500. Want to make a bet? Let's see. We take the time and fill it out right then and there. And that system of putting that in place as soon as a student shows up, I'm going to give example to CalKids again. It takes less than a minute to fill out that form. Less than a minute. And right there, if you take that first step, I see money coming in, I'm more likely to deal with the frustration of the FAFSA when I have to add a little bit more detail. And I think that's the part we have to make sure that our students have that. We have to make sure that they have that ability to have those people walking with them. And at the same time, when they are getting frustrated, normalizing you belong here. So when you meet with a student, say, oh, I know you're ready. I know that you have the skills for college. I know that you're ready to take this challenge on. You can acknowledge it can be difficult, but you're going to acknowledge also that they have the skills. Don't push them to just a 2-year either. Our students need the opportunity to go 4 and 2 year, have those conversations, and we know many will go the 2-year, but let them know that there's more than that if they choose it. And we don't predetermine that for them. So again, making sure to make that connection, making sure to take that system and bring him through that. That will look like FAFSA, having the pre-meeting of getting the form together, having the text message reminders, providing the evening or drop-in times, simplifying the document. And I mean simplify. Think of an outline, a sentence frame, a graphic organizer. You need this, you find it here. You need this, you find it here. Each step of the way to help them be part of that. Those warm handoffs and the consistent point of contact with real people that students can trust, just not the websites. This is the person who's got me. When they know this is the person who's got me, the entire financial process shifts from intimidating to doable. They finally can see that there's someone that they can trust. And I would also say, sell the perks of being system impacted. And what I mean by that is you remind them when you're in the foster youth system, but guess what? You get priority housing, priority tuition. Sell them the pieces that maybe not are just education related. Tell them what else they get from this, the perks of having all these pieces. Your college essay, yes, highlight. This is a great story to tell. Are you kidding? You're gonna get that college board to want you there. You are the person who needs to be part of that. So that would be some of my key points.
Deanna, can I ask one more? Can I add one more thing? Catalina, can I add one more thing?
Go ahead, Kai.
Here's a quick piece of advice, and along with what Deanna said, free money, and it's a little bit of shameless plug. RAPSA provides $1,000 scholarships to opportunity youth, not just here in California, but throughout the nation. And I know many students from Riverside County Office of Ed, their Comeback Kids program, which we love, have benefited from that over the years. And so each year, RAPSA holds a annual conference in San Diego. Please, 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 please apply for your Opportunity Youth. It is the most simplified application. It is less than 1 page, $1,000, and we hope to double that this year because of inflation. And so I think there were some links in the chat. Please, please, please apply. There's too much money that I can't give away. I got a lot of money sitting down there. So there's another piece of advice.
Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Dr. McCarty. Thank you for that great advice and really, have a a lot of heart for the work that you're doing, and I hope that folks that are on here today listening and learning as well can their districts and schools are doing the same work, and if not, there's a connection here now today with the partnerships and the work that you do. Thank you for sharing that. And Kai, I agree. A lot of folks think that it takes too much time and too much work to fill out a one pager. We also want to promote that there's applications for that will take you just a few minutes sometimes, and people just need to understand that take that time to do that, because I don't think they realize how much money is left on the table because people their peers are thinking the same thing. It takes too much work. So appreciate your wisdom that you share with us today, and just looking forward to continue our partnership and working together. Thank you. Next slide. So reminders again, as we are in the last all-in webinar for 2025, we want to continue to remind you that continue to look at our website for resources on the student populations that we serve, as well as the ones that we're uplifting in these months, and want you to also be able to share and look at the free trainings that we offer in the Train the Trainer, the Cash for College workshops, virtual or in-person workshops that families and students get assistance, line by line walkthroughs of the applications, both CADA and FAFSA. And if you haven't yet, sign up for our CSAC listserv to receive the latest communications. We want you to be informed of what CSAC is doing and the work and all of our financial aid updates, including changes to application deadlines, our event reminders, and messages from our executive director, Dr. Daisy Gonzalez. And then track your FAFSA or CADA submission rates on the Race to Submit dashboard. It's really key to just see what your community, your schools that you work with, and how well they're doing, and offer the support that may be needed to help them reach students that have not yet completed a FAFSA and CADA. So make sure you keep up with those submission rates. Next slide. Again, we want to do another reminder, which tomorrow is the deadline for the 25-26 Arthur Marmaduke High School Counselor Award. We want to get your nominations in. It only takes a few minutes to fill that out, and real important to really recognize an outstanding counselor at a high school. And we want to make sure that we are able to recognize all of the nominations that are coming in. But please get the word out and make sure that before everyone goes on vacation, that they can submit a nomination for the upcoming Arthur Marmaduke High School Counselor Award. Next slide. Our next webinar will be in I think it's 2026. We have 2025 here, but it's January 8th, 2026. It's a call to action. California needs a college affordability plan. Again, the webinars are hosted the second Thursdays of each month from 9 to 10 a.m. So we hope that you can continue joining us in our webinars and listening to our great partners that we are, and uplifting the student populations that we've identified, and just continuing to work with all of you and give you information that's needed to help the students and families that you currently serve. Again, thank you for attending these webinars. Thank you for taking the time to listen and to learn, and to partner with us. And we're just continuing to look forward to a good 2026 year, as well as our 26-27 application year that already started on October the 1st. So we're here for you. Please let us know if there's opportunities for us to join events that your campuses are hosting, and how we can continue to be a partner to bring our experts here from CSAC to help support the work that you're doing. So thank you. And again, Happy New Year for 2026. I hope you all have a safe holiday and a safe, happy New Year coming in just a few weeks. So happy holidays. Thank you, everyone. Be safe.